All right. If I may jump in, Mr. Chair.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, just to add on what Lucky has mentioned, and also to bring out a couple of perspectives from CCTLD angles. You asked a simple question: is there money in the domain name system or ecosystem? I would say definitely there is money, and a lot of money. We have seen this in the global north, where we've had successful CCTLD and GTLD operators, where we have had successful resellers and successful registrars. And when I say successful, we are talking of institutions that people are proud to work in. In Africa, many people are normally proud to work for government because of security of tenure. And of course, your job is guaranteed for life, for lack of a better word. When we look at the global north, you find that the domain name ecosystem offers an almost similar satisfaction to those that operate or those that work in the space. But most importantly, and coming back to the African continent, I want to cite a few examples on what a well-functioning CCTLD can be able to do for the community. I'm from Kenya, and looking at Kenya, our first ever local internet governance forum took place sometime in October 2008. And the local CCTLD, Kenya Network Information Center, played a major role in bringing together stakeholders across all stakeholder groups to be able to discuss some of the benefits of the internet, and also just understand how beneficial the internet is to the local community. Over time, I have seen the local tech ecosystem grow. And while we may not be very good at documenting as African citizens, I can look back to the many efforts that the country code top level domain registry did. I know that when, for example, the registry embraced the registry registrar registrant or 3R model that Lucky talked about, a lot of local youth were onboarded as briefcase resellers, for lack of a better word. But they have since grown to become some of the biggest internet service organizations locally, starting with just 5 domain names and the likes. And so that says that there is indeed money in the DNS ecosystem. I look at NIRA, for example, in Nigeria. The role that NIRA plays in convening or supporting the convening of the Nigeria Internet Governance Forum, which in itself has a lot of ripple effects on the local internet and tech ecosystem. I look at Richter in Rwanda. Next week, we'll be having an interesting webinar in Rwanda that will be talking about local branding of businesses online using the internet. And so the CCTLD is speaking to the business community, telling them that even with the COVID-19 pandemic, you can still remain relevant, and all you need to do is find an online presence. And they're doing this through resellers and registrars. Without belaboring the point, Lucky has given the example of the ZSCR in South Africa. It's by all means a successful CCTLD, but backed by about 400 registrars, majority of whom are indigenous organizations. We are not talking of companies outside South Africa. We are talking of companies within South Africa that are contributing to the sterling performance of the CCTLD. Of course, on the other hand, we have our colleagues from .masr, which is the one of the pioneer IDN TLDs on the African continent, doing a lot of work on universal acceptance on the continent. So to say the least, by all means, we are seeing more and more businesses coming online. There was a study done by AFNIC in the year 2018 that indicated that while Europe seemed to have stagnated, in terms of domain growth, Africa, most of the African CCTLDs indicated positive growth. And of course, when you look at, for example, I will look at NIRA. I'm sure it's approaching 200,000 domain names. Kenik is also way past the 100,000 mark. Morocco is quickly approaching the 100,000 mark. So we are seeing, for lack of a better word, a renaissance or resurgence of African CCTLDs. And I want to believe that most of them, the moment they hit the 100,000 mark, then the next goal will be a million. So hopefully in the next couple of years, and of course powered by the COVID-19 pandemic, we are likely to see significant growth among the African country code top level domain registries. And of course, it will also spur innovation and growth and interest in the other TLDs. Probably in the next ICANN round, we are going to see a lot more of the .nairobis or the .lagos, other than just say the .joburg that we have seen in South Africa, because many more people are now understanding the importance of the domain name system in Africa. And there is hope, because when I look at the top 10 registries across all top level domains in terms of registration, at least more than 50% are country code top level domain registries. And of course, when I look at it from that perspective, it shows that there is great opportunity in our local market for resellers and for registrars. And as I close again, I want to cite an example, another positive example that I think is relevant. The last Internet Governance Forum, United Nations Internet Governance Forum, I believe held in 2019 prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. One of the biggest sponsors was DNIC that manages .de. So that goes to just demonstrate what a well-managed or a well-functioning CCTLD can be able to do, not just for the local community, but for the global community. Because we shouldn't forget the fact that even CCTLDs, they manage the country extension on behalf of the nation and also on behalf of the global internet community, because our customers are not just local, our customers are also global. Hence, one of the taglines that came up in the early days when the Kenya and East African Internet Governance Forum started, that we need to think locally but act globally. Our presence may be local, but our business is global. I will stop at that.
May I add one thing, Chair? Just 30 seconds. on the dimension of the registrar, when I'm responding or adding to the money, that there is plenty money. On that leg or on that platter or that strata, of registrar, you can break down the registrar even further to understand how they make their money, the registrars. You would have typically your wholesale registrars who sell the name. Then you have registrars who also do retail. And some of these registrars would find that they are only interested in the domain name. Others are looking at the value add, which is your data, broadband services, etc. Your big telcos, for example, are our registrars. They have a business model that's slightly different. They make money from selling their bandwidth. They complement their bandwidth with a domain name, a blended solution. Then you have other registrars who are called the domineers. Those are the guys who are looking for names that have value, names that expire, that are deleted. And they quickly grab those names and sell them at a premium. So you would find that in the US, there are names that are selling for thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, because people have addressed and understood the value of a name. And those guys, they just sell names. They look for premium names and sell them in the market. And this is another angle of making money. And finally, you have your corporate registrars, your corporate lawyers who are protecting the brand of companies, who advise companies that, look, Barclays, there is now a new name called Africa. Somebody will call themselves Barclays Africa if you don't take it quickly. Even if you don't use it, but register the name and reserve it and lock it up. So that is defensive registration. There is a lot of that happening. You find that there are names that are registered, they do not resolve into web pages. They are just there sitting for defensive purposes. And also they provide IP support to companies. They focus on companies, they provide a thing. And this is all where the money resides. So I thought I must add this other leg and break it down further so that we can see where the revenue is also coming from. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. That was very, very, very insightful. Thank you for those layers of additional information provided. And believe you me, individuals who evaluate or who provide valuation for domain names and provide some form of corporate services end up making millions of dollars annually from that particular model. So that is definitely, it's established that there is a lot of money in the domain ecosystem, and the different areas where you can play from the registry to the registrar down and then breaking down the registrar model into those different angles where you can either be an IP, a domainer, or you're just providing web services, hosting. So it's not just the domain name that you're selling, but you're selling a service. So definitely there's a lot involved in this ecosystem.